LEGO's been using this design for the B1 Battle Droid since 1999. That's the same year the Nokia 3210 was released and a great internet connection was running at 56 kilobits per second. That's 23 years. Almost a whole quarter of a century with this design. I think a lot of people would argue that there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, LEGO nailed the design the first time around, right? Well, yeah, sure. The design was great back when it came out, and it still holds up pretty well today. At this point, it feels like a classic to me. And there are so many of these out there on the secondary market that it only costs about $1.50 to pick one of them up, which is great. I mean, it makes it pretty painless for me when I have to go buy a bunch of these for a mock or something. Droids come as a supplementary addition to just about every clone set under the sun, so I've managed to amass a decent collection of them without even really trying. I think it's time we get an update though. Technology has come a long way since 1999, and I'm sure we could see a great battle droid if it was redesigned with today's technologies. Posability is quite limited with these figures. The legs don't separate, so you can't even position this to look like it's walking. The arms are locked in position, and the hands can't be rotated at all like they can be on regular minifigures. Some third-party companies have made droid arms that articulate at the elbow, which gives you a little bit more to work with, but I still think there's room for improvement here. I understand that LEGO has to take durability into consideration when making these products, and I'm guessing that's probably one of the reasons we haven't seen an update in such a long time. Kids would be breaking these things left and right if we just took the current design and added some joints to it. I don't think this is a good enough excuse to keep things as they are though. LEGO can get creative with this and come up with a good solution. Durability really comes into play as an issue with the Super Battle Droid. LEGO hasn't included the Super Battle Droid in a set since 2015. The general consensus that I've seen online is that this is due to durability issues with the connecting points on the arms and legs of these droids. The legs snap when connected to the hips, and the arms snap when connected to the shoulders. I haven't had this issue personally, but that's probably due to the fact that I've known about this being a problem, and so I don't connect and disconnect the arms and legs on my droids. I just leave them as they are. If this is really the reason why we haven't gotten a new Super Battle Droid in 7 years, again, I think it's time for a redesign. Redesigning the B1 Battle Droid and the Super Battle Droid wouldn't be a cheap undertaking for LEGO. They would need new designs, a bunch of new molds, plus the time and the money to test out the new minifigures. So how does this actually end up being a viable endeavor for them? Here's my suggestion. Create some new solid designs, remake the Droid Battle Pack from 2007, and then just stick with these new designs for the next 25 years, just like you did with the last ones. If LEGO can execute well on something like this, I think they would sell tons of these droids. You would have a lot of people looking to replace their old, outdated droids with the new ones. Seems like a win-win to me. If it was up to me to design the set with the new droids, I would include 3 regular B1 droids, 2 Super Battle Droids, and 2 other B1 droids with either some printing or color variation. Around the time the ATTE was released, I saw a lot of people talking about how LEGO should have included a crab droid instead of the spider droid that made its way into the set. LEGO actually hasn't ever released a crab droid as far as I know, and this is honestly pretty surprising to me. They've released 3 versions of the homing spider droid and 7 versions of the dwarf spider droid. When asked about this in an interview with David from Solid Brick Studios, LEGO actually said that they hadn't even really considered putting a crab droid in this set. For there to be such a large and pretty well unanimous response from the LEGO Star Wars community suggesting this, I was surprised to hear that this was LEGO's response to things. It seemed like the obvious choice to all of us. And I'm not sure if this is some sort of groupthink or something like that, because I know LEGO Star Wars fans can tend to lean that direction sometimes. I'm one of you too, I can be guilty of this. But I don't think it's that much of a stretch to say that the LEGO Star Wars design team really probably should have thought of this. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. These guys are LEGO designers, they're not Star Wars lore experts. If you watch the scene from episode 3 that this is based on though, you'll see that it's pretty obvious that it should have been a crab droid. Crab droids are the ones that are featured heavily in the scene, not spider droids. All that to say, I'm hopeful that we'll see a crab droid in a future LEGO Star Wars set. For now though, there are plenty of great mocks out there, so I'm probably going to be using one of those designs to add these to my collection in the meantime. Another droid that really needs some attention is the Droideka. LEGO has come out with 7 different Droideka designs since they started making Star Wars sets. In my opinion, they all look pretty bad. It's been 7 years since we've seen one of these in a set, and I think it's about time that we get an updated version. As with most things, there are some great mocks floating around online. My guess is that the Droideka designs they've released look the way they do primarily for stability. Mock versions of this droid probably won't hold up well to being tossed around by a kid. This is a situation where I think a custom molded piece or two could really go a long way in improving the accuracy of LEGO's Droideka design. Either way, I won't be using LEGO's official design for the Droideka in my builds. They all look way too funky, and they don't represent the source material very well. Another thing that's been bothering me for a while now is the fact that we've only gotten one Separatist LEGO Star Wars set in the last 3 years. I know people like their clones. Don't get me wrong, I do too. But come on, what are all the clones from these new sets supposed to fight against if all we get is an armored assault tank and nothing else? Every set that has come with clones in the past couple of years has typically included a few battle droids as well. And that's great, but it really doesn't give you a whole lot to work with. We haven't seen a homing spider droid since 2016. The last time we got a Hailfire droid was 2015, and we haven't gotten a tank droid since 2013. We've also never seen the MTT made in the Clone Wars blue and gray color scheme. With all the new pieces and molds LEGO's made since the last MTT released, I think we could get a really good looking model with today's standards. The last MTT came out in 2014, so I don't really think there's much of a risk of it not selling well if they were to release one now. It's been 8 years. I think we're ready. I could keep going on with this, but I think you get the point. We need more Separatist LEGO sets in general. Do you have any hot takes or thoughts of your own around the topic of droids and Separatist LEGO sets? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you haven't watched my video about clones, you can check it out on the end screen coming up here in just a second. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like down below and subscribe to tell YouTube that you want to keep seeing more of my stuff in the future. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good one.